there is imminent danger to the safety of the shelter. This week's chapter of the book, My System's Name is Symbiot, explores the possibility of fear, desperation, survival, and above all, the desire to get stronger. In the heart of the Lagos shelter, while the world slept beneath a sky painted in hues of pink and green, one restless soul fought a battle no one else could see. Adewale, alone in his thoughts, drowning in doubt. He had once believed this new world would be like the stories he had cherished, where the hero always had an unfair advantage, where power came easy and justice was swift. But reality was much crueler than he had imagined. There was no cheats, no magical shortcuts, just a constant struggle for survival in a world that wanted him dead. Yet, even in the depths of despair, a spark ignited. It gave him hope, a memory, a forgotten voice prompt, one he had brushed aside weeks ago. And with it, a revelation. Survival in this world wasn't about power alone. It was about people, allies, bonds forged in the heat of battle. Without them, he wouldn't just fail, he would die. And Adewale was not ready to die. Not here, and definitely not now. I am not giving up, he whispered into the night.
I will overcome.
And with that, he rose, ready to face whatever came next. But nothing could have prepared him for the horror that was about to be revealed. It began with a scream. A guard on the western wall, his eyes wide with terror. "They are coming, oh! They are coming, oh! Yeah, Barikba! What in there, oh? They are coming, oh!" The night shattered as the alarms blared across the shelter. The earth trembled beneath the weight of something massive. A colossal reptilian beast, towering and restless, and with it, a swarm of human-sized, grotesque, ravenous flies, feeding off the decaying filth beneath the monster's scales. The Eshos, the elite defenders of the shelter, rushed to their posts. Cannons roared, fireballs blazed against the night sky, but this was no ordinary attack. This was a siege, and if the walls fell, then everyone within the Lagos shelter would die. This was a battle for survival, one that would spell the destiny for the Lagos shelter. Adewale and the other trainees were jolted awake. There was no time for questions. The only thing they received were orders. "Get ready for combat," the commander commanded. They were handed crystal-powered weapons, deadly yet unfamiliar. Within moments, they were loaded into a carrier vehicle and rushed towards the chaos. Fear clung in the air like a heavy fog. For most of them, this was their first taste of war, and for many others, it would be their last. On board the carrier, the commander's voice crackled through the holographic display. Their mission? Simple, but deadly. Ignore the colossal beast. That task was reserved for the S-rank warriors. The recruits? They were sent to face the swarm of predator flies, creatures with razor-sharp limbs and acid-spewing breath. And as Adewale listened, a dread crept into his heart. Something was wrong. Something was amiss. But he failed to put his finger on it. And then it clicked. All the recruits in the vehicle were all A-ranks, weak, and of course, disposable. The realization hit him the moment he alighted from the carrier that brought them to the location. He looked around and realized they were all A-ranks, not just the one that carried them, but also all the other carriers. Every last candidate and trainee on the battleground were E-ranks, and the dread fell upon him. This was not a mission. It was an execution. What happens when you put a bunch of underaged, undertrained boys on a battlefield loaded with monsters and beasts of prey that have a taste for human flesh? A bunch of scared boys that are afraid to engage in war. They were all frozen in fear. Adewale felt his hands tremble and realized if he did nothing, they were all going to die. So he acted. His instincts for self-preservation told him one thing: together. He called out, "Together!" He shouted again. "If we fight as one, we will survive this," he cried. His voice cut through the panic, drawing a handful of followers, his best friend Ata, and the strong-willed Lekon Afisoye, and others who saw him cry out, felt something, and then they walked over to him. They were in search of something more. A lot of other scared recruits followed as well. Using his knowledge from the animations and movies of his past life, he had them form battle formations, a defensive circle, each protecting the other's back. It was a gamble, but it was their only chance. As the predator fly screeched and invaded, there was no time for trial. The only thing they could do was take action, and for a time it worked. As they shot their blasters, the predator flies, governed by mindless instincts, fell before their coordinated assaults. For the first time, they could feel hope and a flicker of light in the darkness. But then came the second wave. More flies, bigger and deadlier than the first. Adewale knew that they couldn't hold the line for long, unless he had a sudden idea. It hit him. By now, judging from the experience his comrades had accumulated from killing the predator flies, they must have evolved several times already. He had to put it all in this gamble. "Is there anyone with the shield skill?" he shouted. And then he inquired for about 3 other skills: the taunt skill, the lightning skill, and the barrier skill. These were important skills that might help them to reduce the number of predator flies that invaded. A plan began to form, a dangerous one, but if it worked, it could turn the tide of the battle in their favor. With a loud roar, Lekon unleashed his taunt ability, drawing the swarm towards them in a frenzied mass. The electric user struck next. The lightning arced through the air, frying and killing every fly that was clustered about the erected barrier. One by one, the predator flies fell. Adewale's group had done the impossible. They had survived, and in the heat of battle, something awakened inside him. Something that gave him hope for the future. New skill acquired. Dependable leadership. All those beneath your command gain a 200% boost. He had found his power, not as a lone warrior, but as a born leader. "All right, men," Adewale called, with more confidence than he had before. "The third wave is coming. Let's send them back to hell." The rifles blazed, and the sky burned with plasma fire. It seemed, at last, they might win. But victory was still far away, because hidden amongst the swarm was something else, something far worse, something more menacing. A sudden blast of fire tore through their ranks. Impossible, unnatural. The predator flies couldn't generate fire. This attack came from something far more deadly. And there, in the heart of the swarm, it emerged. A queen fly. Smarter, stronger, and far more formidable. The real battle had just begun. What will become of Adewale and his team as they face the terrifying new threats? Can they survive the Queen Fly's onslaught? Or will the Lagos shelter fall? Find out in the next thrilling chapter of my system's name is Symbiot. And hey, if you are loving this journey as much as we are, don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel, drop a comment below. Who's your favorite character so far? Share this story with your fellow fans of epic adventures. And of course, if you wish to read the book, then it is available on 3 special websites. Just search for my system's name is Symbiot on Inkkit, Wattpad, and of course, Webnovel. Thank you for watching this video and hope to see you next chapter. Let it be well with you.